Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 4 of our F1 2001 career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend at the jewel in the Formula 1 crown. It's time for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago from Barcelona, from the Spanish GP, I would highly recommend going back and checking out as we get up towards the Christmas period now. Obviously, Season 5 of our driver career mode. Obviously, we've still got plenty of videos coming out from that. But obviously, yeah, we're going to be doing a few more videos from this series as well, of course. Currently, I'm still on my travels. I'll be back in the new year. But yeah, I'm recording this in November. I'm hoping, obviously, I'll have enough videos to keep you guys waiting until the new year as well there. But yeah, Barcelona though really was a turning point. After we struggled for pace in the opening couple of rounds of the season, we are now tied with Jacques Villeneuve at the top of the table. 49 points apiece there, ahead of Marc Genet on 28, Ralf Schumacher and David Coulthard, as well as Heinz-Harald Frentzen not too far behind. Obviously, only myself and Jacques have finished all 3 Grand Prix this year, so we could be in for quite a good title fight. Obviously, Monaco last season, if you missed it, it was arguably the craziest race I've ever had in an F1 game. Changeable conditions meant that cars were spinning off everywhere during that one, and strategy just went completely out of the window. It was basically the 1996 Monaco Grand Prix repeated again. But I'm hoping this season we're going to have a car that's competitive. 50 Grand Prix into this series, I'm still yet to claim a pole position. Maybe today can be that day. Well, here we are then, ready for the most important qualifying session of the year, and probably our best shot ever to try and claim a pole position inside this series. We all know just how difficult it is to get a lap nailed around this circuit, but I'm hoping that the high downforce setup that we've got on the car is going to work wonders here. Obviously, V10s around the Monaco streets was really a sight to behold as well. I would highly recommend going back and watching either some of these classic qualifyings or even some of the classic GPs as well, because it really was a sight to behold there. But as we make our way down through Portier, of course, it wasn't that long ago McLaren were winning this race with Ayrton Senna behind the wheel of the car as well. A little time has passed there, and yeah, McLaren, of course, especially in this alternate timeline, have not seen much luck since there. Is almost putting it in the wall. Down through the chicane, through to back will go though, just shut the car in right up towards the barrier on the exit. You can see it is sliding around all over the show there, but trying to dance between the Armco barriers there. Through the Rascas we go, nice and easy. Someone's binned it in qualifying, that's quite impressive. But up towards the line though, we are just, I think, going to miss out. Jacques Villeneuve's done it, but Williams don't get another front row lockout. Well, there we go then. Jacques Villeneuve yet again. Williams getting their fourth pole position of the year. But it goes to show the pace is real in these McLaren cars there. Myself in P2 ahead of David Coulthard. Heinz-Harald Frentzen will line up in P4 there. Quite a few surprises though up and down the grid. Juan Pablo Montoya in his Arrows qualifies inside the top 10. So that's a fantastic effort done by him there. Jos Verstappen all the way up in P8. And again, Ferrari only quicker than Minardi in qualifying. I've got no idea what has happened to those cars at the moment. Alonso out-qualifies Trulli, and it was Marc Genet in the second Sauber who binned it on that lap.
Formula One on ITV in association with Texaco.
Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote. And don't expect to see much overtaking here today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Can we talk about Mercedes? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
Well, last time they were moaning about Ferrari. This time around, they're saying that we haven't nailed the aero regs. If anything, I think we've done the best job. It's just BMW have brought a more powerful engine as well to the grid. But 39 laps ahead of us. Unlike last season, it is meant to be sunny skies right the way throughout the Monaco Grand Prix. And I'm going to not underfuel the car, but I'm not going to put any spare fuel in it either. I think today we could be quite economical here. We just want to try and get a good start against Jacques Villeneuve down in towards turn 1. The 5 red lights come on here for the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. And annoyingly, Villeneuve responded fantastically well there. Coulthard and Frentzen are going to try to look down or inside at the first corner. No, sorry, I think that's one of the Jaguars there. Rubens Barrichello trying to get a look through the opening couple of turns. We've got to give him the room up the hill. So DC there just running a little bit wide. And that's allowed Villeneuve just to scamper away at the front of the order there immediately. So yeah, Jacques Villeneuve, of course, I don't believe he ever won this Grand Prix, if I remember correctly, in IRL Formula 1. I could be wrong on that one, but I don't think he ever won this race. Maybe today is going to be his day there. As I mean, yeah, bad start for us, though, going behind our team. Of course, David Coulthard won this very Grand Prix in the 2001 season. Obviously, twice a winner here on the Monte Carlo streets, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, he'll be looking to try and get a big result as well this weekend. But if we're going to be in a title fight with Jacques Villeneuve, then, of course, you know, how early in the season do McLaren start making calls about #1 drivers and things like that? DC, of course, was the #2 to Mika Hakkinen for so many years. He would not be happy with his organisation if they immediately started giving us the #1 role as well. But we've survived lap 1. That's the other important bit there, is we've already lost one driver. I've got no idea who that is. But it was only a very minor incident then for Johnny Herbert. You just see he makes his way through, glances the barrier through to back there, and I think he's actually just got a puncture. Maybe he's broken a suspension arm on that BAR car, but here's our first casualty of the afternoon, out on lap 1. We did put half a second on our teammate David Coulthard in qualifying, so I would hope we're going to be quicker than him in the Grand Prix as well, as we got a safety car. I mean, I'm going to take the opportunity to pit if we can. I think that's a Ferrari gone. Oh, so here we go then, riding with Michael Schumacher, following his teammate Mika Hakkinen down in towards the back. Just runs a little bit wide there in the dirty air, and that is the Ferrari instantly out of the Grand Prix. And if ever you needed an example of how brutal the damage model is on this game, there you go. Well, we are going to peel into the pit lane though, and immediately slot down into the McLaren box here. Of course, we can take the hards to the end of the GP. The only real question is obviously, you know, how badly will we get held up, potentially behind some other cars as well. There we can see Marc Genet, Fernando Alonso a fair way off the back of the field at the moment, so maybe we'll come out ahead of them still. Yes, we do. We do often see effectively no-stop strategies here at Monaco, and if it works at Spain, I see no reason why it can't work for us here as well. As Jacques Villeneuve then is going to be leading the cars through those final couple of corners. We are stuck behind 2 of the Finnish drivers. Obviously, no Mika Salo on the grid this year after his explosive 2000 campaign. But as we go green flag racing once again then, this is going to be really, really tough over these next few laps there. The pace spread between the entire field is not that big, but Villeneuve, I'm sure, will still be able to pull away It is so tricky to try and go for moves in track conditions like this on a circuit as tight and narrow as this one, with a damage model as brutal as it is. One wrong move by the AI and it can not only obviously be their day over, but yours as well behind them. So we want to try and get a run on Hakkinen there, but again, you've got to avoid the walls. They seem to really be struggling through to back at the moment. There's see Hakkinen again, just leans up against it, so we're going to have to be really careful there as Hakkinen again just parks it on the apex of the next corner. We've got to try and find the way around him, as already you can see Villeneuve pulling away once more up at the front of the order. That Ferrari, not only is it not particularly good through the corners, but it's also not as overpowered in a straight line. So you just see, it looks like Hakkinen and Raikkonen both trying to avoid the bumps on the apex of the top of the hill, as we will send it down the inside of Hakkinen there, just so I keep it out of the barrier after giving the room on the exit. But, I mean, you can't not make a clean overtake with this mod around this circuit, but we've done it. I'm hoping Hakkinen is going to be one of the most difficult drivers to try and get around early on in this race. I'm hoping everybody else, we should just have a little bit more kind of natural pace in the car over. So you can just see Kimi Raikkonen making his way up towards someone. Still only 10 seconds behind our teammate there, but we will get the run on our second finished driver of the day. We'll be able to go around the outside there as wheel to wheel we rub against the Armco barrier again. But around the outside, up through Casino Square, that was a brave one. Oh, we've got yellows. Has someone binned it on the exit here?
There's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Someone's definitely gone off somewhere. There it is, Jos Verstappen out of the Grand Prix, so disappointment for him. That looks, though, like it's a mechanical failure. I guess what's good for us, of course, is it's one less car I need to try and overtake. Well, it looks like we've got even more chaos then. Kimi Raikkonen appears to be breaking down in this GP. And look at this, Hakkinen following him around. And Raikkonen just tries to move out of the way through the final couple of corners. And the Ferrari goes with him. What a bizarre little incident through the final couple of turns here. But that's going to, like I said, bring out another safety car. Not really sure what Kimi was trying to do. I think he was just hoping the Ferrari would go around in there. But yeah, Hakkinen just into the back of him, and the fins have crashed into each other. Oh, there we go. DC's in. David Coulthard into the pit lane then, so that's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Montoya in as well there. Jenson Button in the other Arrows car opts to stay out, but has Jacques Villeneuve pit then in this Grand Prix? There was Coulthard. I don't think he has. So strategy here is becoming very, very interesting, as we're down to just 13 runners. Well, Williams have really rolled the dice with the strategy here. I think they're hoping for a few more safety cars and things like that. Either that or they're hoping it's completely clear running and they can just pull away, whilst myself and DC have to try and fight our way through slower traffic once again there. But the green flag waves once more here on the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. And are we going to be able to try and have a look for a move on Alex Wurz quite quickly? Of course, that move that we made on Raikkonen really has given us the confidence now that we can try to attack more AI.
We won't be making another pit stop.
What I think, though, has happened here is there's quite a few cars that are obviously very, very loose to drive, and quite a few of them that are very, very kind of... they seem easier to drive for the AI. I wonder if pretty much all of the loose cars have binned it, so your Ferraris, your BARs, all that kind of thing. And now we're kind of left with sort of 12 or 13 runners where all their cars are actually fairly sensible. You can see, for example, Wurz and Button, they're not running really wide up the top of the hill. So I wonder if these guys are going to be a lot more composed and therefore a lot more difficult to overtake. I say that, immediately Alex Wurz there just makes a little bit of a mistake in his Benetton. That could have been game over for us. So we get actually contact from Marc Genet behind, so the AI really giving us the hurry up there. Genet immediately will dive into the pit lane. So that means we've got DC now breathing down our neck. But it was almost, yeah, obviously the McLaren that we obviously saw last year. That seems to be more like the Ferrari, the BAR and the Minardi this year. Just complete handfuls that the AI can't wrap their head around. Wurz, though, in that Benetton, unless he locks up or does something like that, that thing seems pretty composed. Can we get the run down the hill? Get down the inside there once again, avoid the wall on the exit, and we're through. Oh, we got yellows, I think, out behind, and we got another safety car. Who now has been there? It's Coulthard, no! We're riding on board then with our teammate DC. Maybe my theory was wrong there, just trapped in the dirty air of the car in front. And while that is reminiscent of an incident we saw in the early 2000s here, if I remember correctly. Just see the Jordan unsighted behind him, not enough time to get the yellow flags out. To be fair, actually, he had probably time to avoid him, but that's not happened. And David Coulthard is out of his second Grand Prix in a row. As we found out in Bahrain, there's a maximum of 4 safety cars, I believe, in a GP. We've already had 3 of them, and we're not even a half distance yet, and already we're down to just 10 runners. So once again, another Grand Prix proving to be a race of attrition in this series. I really thought that maybe Barcelona was going to kind of bring a new age of stability inside this series, rather than just chaos at every single Grand Prix. Looks like Monaco has got... I mean, Monaco, to be fair, is a bit more tricky and things like that, so hopefully it's not going to be the long term there, as John Alesi, just the up and run, struggling a little bit in that Jordan's car. We've got to find a way around Jenson Button as soon as possible there, because still it is Jacques Villeneuve that leads the way at the front of the order, but when he pits, hopefully we will come out in P1. Villeneuve, there we go, another new fastest lap of the day by the Williams driver. So, I mean, he's basically just hoping now we get another safety car. And, well, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would assume we're going to get a fourth safety car in this race at some point there. And Jean Alesi definitely is struggling a bit more. So I think that Jordan car, again, is a bit more like some of those others that I mentioned. We're just struggling a little bit more with tyre wear at the moment, trying just to see if I can throw Jenson Button off. Was in his second year, got points for arrows already this campaign, but he's just not budging, and fair play to him. Well, I'm sure Jacques Villeneuve is just going to be using the Pedro de la Rosa school of winning a world championship. Just got to finish every single race you can and make sure you score points in all of them. Of course, Pedro, 15 finishes last year out of a maximum 16, and then he would have been all 16 had I not collided with him at Suzuka. We were the only driver to finish every race last campaign, and well, so far already this season it has only been myself and the Williams that have survived all 3 Grand Prix. Down the inside of Button will finally go. That was a bit more of a tidy move. Haven't seen much of the Jordan team so far this year, but again, they are another organisation, a bit like BAR, that we certainly came and left at the right time there. As well, Lacey into the pit lane then, so that works out beautifully for us. So, have we got anyone else in the pits? No, we don't, interestingly. So a lot of the AI is still trying to continue on. Next up is Giancarlo Fisichella, and then I believe it's both Williams and both Jaguars in your top 4. Oh, there we go, first driver dipping into the 116s this afternoon. Goes and reminds Williams again just the pace we have got when we're finally out in clear air here, as we are near enough now at half distance. As always, these races feel like an absolute marathon throughout the first half, and then things tend to calm down. Well, that Benetton is another car this season that just seems to have got itself a little bit closer to our front runners. Without the dominant force of Ferrari, it really has given a lot of teams a lot of opportunities there, as Jan Magnussen into the pit lane, and so is Jacques Villeneuve. So we are almost up then into the podium places. And we should get a big jump on the Canadian then, but of course we've seen before how quick he can be in the second half of a race. Another one we've seen how quick can be is that Sauber car, Marc Genet. He has pit, and he's now up into what I would assume is a net P2. Oh, there we go. Oh, Fisichella just broke a little bit more than I was expecting him to on the racing line through those last couple of corners. But into the lead we go then of the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, I don't know whether Genet will have to pit again. He's only 8 seconds behind. How far back is Jacques Villeneuve in this Grand Prix as well? Because, of course, that's the other big one. Villeneuve is only 12 seconds away. So it's not out of the realms of possibility that if he could find a way around Marc, maybe he could close back in on us. Or I do something like that and bin it. Oh, okay, we're flying.
Keep this up.
We are flying along at the moment then. New fastest lap of the day. I mean, yeah, even on that lap, we've gone quicker than Jacques Villeneuve, who's on fresher tyres than me. I just think this car around this circuit is a bit, again, a bit like our BAR last season, We've just got the downforce. We don't need as much power here. It is not a hindrance. Well, I tell you what then, just flying around this circuit at the moment. Obviously, these 2000s cars, they really did evolve very, very quickly. Obviously, they've had the engine power in these V10s since, you know, the late 1990s. But obviously, with the introduction or the reintroduction of traction control and some of the other electronic aids, this honestly now is starting to feel more like a modern F1 car. Yes, we've still got a lack of grip being provided by the tyres, but it's starting to feel stable and predictable. And you can see why, you know, when you get to sort of 2003, 2004, why these cars were so fast and so highly rated. They really were kind of the introduction of modern Formula 1, as even as we still know it today. But yeah, we've got about a third of this Grand Prix left to go. I'm kind of hoping now it's fairly predictable towards the end, because we are just pulling away from Marc Genet, and now he is holding up Jacques Villeneuve. Okay. What's happened? Oh, we got... Who's got... Oh no! Loads of drivers have gone. What on earth has happened? Well, riding on board then with Marc Genet running up in this P2 position, holding the Williams at bay, but he just nudges the wall, and he's taken both Williams with him. Will we see the Jaguar? I think has been able to avoid it there, but I mean, look at this here from Frenson's point of view. He's just making his way through, following his teammate, and just both of them have collected with the Sauber there. So suddenly, like I said, I think the Jaguar's going to be able to make it through all this without any major problems, but we're down to like 6 runners. Well, as we catch up to the back of the safety car then, Giancarlo Fisichella has taken the opportunity to move back up into P2, but we had close to a 40-second lead over the Benetton driver here, and, well, as long as we can finish this Grand Prix now, we're going to be the only driver that has survived all 4 races at the start of this season. What an absolutely wild campaign it's been so far. Well, coming round then to start lap 36, we've only got 4 laps to go of this Grand Prix, so luckily there's not time for another safety car, even if we get more incidents here, but just controlling the pace once again. Just got to make sure that we get the tyres up to temperature off of this restart as we try and open up the line through that final corner. Try and get that throttle down there and escape from Giancarlo Fisichella. I'm sure he'd love to try and claim the victory here, just like he did IRL in... Was it? Yeah, well, was it Giancarlo? Was it Jarno Trulli? I can't remember which one it was that obviously took the victory here in 2004. I think it might have been Jarno, to be completely honest. I think Fisichella did win a couple of Grand Prix when he was a Renault driver in, obviously, the mid-2000s, but yeah, as we just control the field then once again off of this restart. Now, of course, as long as I don't do anything stupid, we should be safe. As we round the final couple of corners then to start the last lap of the Monaco Grand Prix, we haven't needed to take any risk towards the end of this one, but it hasn't stopped us pulling out a 7-second advantage over the rest of your runners, and if that goes to showcase the pace this car's had today, then I don't know what will there. We have 5 finishes in Bahrain, 6 finishes in Albert Park, Australia, and we're going to get 7 finishes today at the Monaco Grand Prix. I really do hope things become a little bit more normal in the next couple of rounds, but yeah, today really has been a race of attrition and trying to avoid chaos. And of course, Bahrain was a bit of luck for McLaren to take the win. Spain was, you know, good strategy call. I think here today, we've just had the pace to control the field once we got back out in front there. Yes, Jacques Villeneuve and Williams butchered their strategy a little bit. Of course, yes, Jacques should be getting a podium here, but he's not going to, thanks to Marc Genet stacking it. But as we round the final few corners of the Monaco Grand Prix, we are going to get our 2nd win in a row around these famous streets. The 2000 season saw all kinds of weather thrown at us. This time round, the sun has been shining here around Monte Carlo. At the final corner, McLaren, they are back on top at the Monaco Grand Prix.
That's a race win. You've really been great today.
They've done it then. They've won here in Monaco with an emphatic performance and a victory they can be proud of for years to come. Talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, we become the first repeat winner then of the 2001 season as well there, and happy to claim back-to-back Monaco Grand Prix victories. Giancarlo Fisichella will come through for P2 ahead of Jan Magnussen and Jean Alesi there. Barrichello, Button and Alexander Wirtz all seeing the checkered flag there, with Genet, Villeneuve, Frentzen, Coulthard, both Schumachers, Montoya, Alonso, Trulli, Raikkonen, Hakkinen, Jos Verstappen and Johnny Herbert all failing to see the checkered flag. What's that going to do to our championship standings? Well, it means we've now got a 26-point buffer over Jacques at the top of the table as we head to his home Grand Prix next time out there. Genet still in P3 ahead of Ralf Schumacher and Coulthard in the championship. Barrichello up at a 7th there as Fisichella leapfrogs his way up into 8th place, now tied with Jenson Button. You can see Magnussen gets ahead of Hakkinen, Alesi gets ahead of Herbert and Schumacher, and we're just left with both Menardis and Montoya, who are yet to score points in this campaign. McLaren to the top of the constructors as well, on 100 points there ahead of Williams and Sauber, with Jordan, Jaguar, Benetton and Ferrari there. Arrows ahead of BAR and Minardi, yeah, without any points to their credit. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed. Like I said, we're going to be having, I think, 2 of these videos going out a week between now and the end of the year. So thank you, everybody, for the support, and we'll be back very soon in Montreal.